Mm. Hey there, YouTube. It is a nice sunny day here today where I am. This day is just gorgeous. I just got to work. I worked until close last night, which was technically the same day, Tuesday, after midnight. Where to begin? Oh my gosh. So today, the weather, this feels like September weather to me. I can't believe how gorgeous it is today. You can see I'm wearing my little club dress. It's short, and I actually washed it in the shower last night, so it's still a bit damp. It didn't really have time to dry all the way. So, and I'm not cold right now at all. I can't believe I'm not wearing like big heavy socks like I wear sometimes, or like I've been wearing lately. I'm just wearing like regular socks right now, just my little club dress, and I'm not cold whatsoever. Like, I cannot believe this. This is such a gorgeous day. Oh my gosh. And I barely got up in time to get here just now. Originally, after working till close last night, I knew that I was smelling something from my shift. I don't know what it was. It was familiar. Some people just have a smell that I think genetically I just don't, my nose, something in me just doesn't like it all. And I didn't really do any dances with guys yesterday, so I don't think it was from that. I think some people, it's so strong that it'll linger on other people and carry on to the stage to where I'm smelling it on the stage from other people. It's that strong. It's that powerful in a bad way. That's all I could think of. The only other thing I can think that it might have been, I did a live video of me on stage yesterday at the club, and before I started filming that video, I had already been dancing on the stage like that, like really fast, and working up a sweat. I had already been doing that for probably at least an hour or longer. So maybe, like, I think I was just so hot that, and I was sweating so much, it was like releasing like this smell from somewhere, like my clothing or something, that I hadn't noticed until that point. I hadn't smelled it until after and I don't think it was like me. It was familiar. It's more of a guy smell. It's more of like, anyways, so I knew that if I didn't wash, like, I washed my wig, I washed my dress, I washed like my bra, I washed a lot of stuff in the shower with me last night, because normally I wash my stuff in the sink. I don't have like a laundry set up at my place. So I knew that if I didn't wash that stuff in the shower with me, I wasn't going to be able to get around to it. I was just too tired. And the smell was really bothering me, as it usually does when I smell that kind of thing. So I washed all this stuff in the shower while I was showering myself. I was just like throwing soap everywhere, just like soap, 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 soap. I love soap so much, you guys. If you guys ever want to know what to get a stripper for birthdays, Christmas, anything, we love soap. Anything that smells good, we love. That's like the perfect gift for us. Scented things that smell really nice. So yeah, I was just lots of soap, lots of shampoo, just all around everywhere. Like, everything in that shower was just suds everywhere. Oh gosh. Then, in between that, while I was still trying to shower myself, I was like hopping out of the shower to try to put some of this stuff on the drying rack to dry after I had rinsed it. So I'm running around back and forth from my apartment, like on a slippery, wet floor, like exhausted, cold. I mean, it was cold then, you know, at night, no heat on and stuff. So I don't know how I didn't slip, honestly. Like, it must have been quite the sight for whoever spies on me. No, I'm just kidding. For like a fly on the wall or something. I don't know. But yeah, so that was interesting. I was so afraid I was gonna run out of warm water, like before I was fully washed on my body and rinsed. And I didn't. Oh my gosh, you guys have no idea how thankful I was that I still had enough warm water, because a lot of times in my shower, like the thing about it, the water does get very nice and hot, which I love, obviously. So it's good with that, but it'll be pretty often, it won't always last that long to take like a long shower or a longer kind of shower. So that'll happen pretty frequently. Not terrible, thank gosh, but it does happen. So I was just like, I was so, because it was cold last night, you know. So I was just really, really, really like scared that was gonna happen, and it didn't. And I was so, so happy that it didn't. So, so thankful, because, you know, it's like I'm washing all this stuff, rinsing all this stuff, and then trying to do myself as well. Like in between that, after that, before that, after that, like I basically washed my body like 3 or 4 times, you know. Just, ooh. I'm very, very sensitive to smells, and I don't want to like be rude, like, you know, everyone has their own smell, I guess, and I obviously don't smell that great myself a lot of times. Like, you know, females having periods and ovulation, like stuff dies inside our body with that, so obviously there's like not great smells that happen with that. Like, it's just a human thing. I'm not saying it's just guys, like, don't get me wrong, like it's humans, it's just a human thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just part of being a human. But I just have a big ass nose, and um I I eat a lot before the club and after the club, but because I go upside down on the pole a lot, I try just for my stomach to not like, you know, feel like upset stomach and like acid reflux or whatever. I try not to eat a lot at the club or really drink a lot at the club, just to kind of keep, you know, because going upside down in the pole, like obviously that's not good to have like huge meals like in between that for me. So with that, I tend to get pretty hungry at the club sometimes. I'll snack here and there, you know, but I feel like my sense of smell is even stronger doing that at the club, you know, because yeah, like when you're hungrier, your sense of smell tends to be stronger. So I'm just a very sensory sensitive person. I'm very, very sensitive, especially to smells. Even like cleaning products or just like all kinds of different smells. It's very rare that there's smells that I like. I prefer just neutral. Usually, like, I don't really like anything that's very prominent or very like noticeable typically, unless it's like my favorite kind of perfume, which is Magnetism by Escada. Oh, I don't know if they still make that, but that's the best perfume I've ever smelled by a long shot. And also Cool Water by Davidoff is my other favorite. And like, you know, like for guys, I really like, I think Evolution and Sauvage, oh my gosh, are like my favorites that I've you know, recognized so far. Anyways, so last night was interesting. Then after that, I really didn't even have time to watch my 2 videos from yesterday. Typically, what I'll try to do is when I do a video one day, I'll try to watch that back on my laptop later on, after my shift at work. And I really didn't get to do that last night or this morning, I guess, depending on how you look at it. My laptop was also messing up. I went back on the webcam site that I'm signed on recently, like last week, a few days ago, something like that. I didn't even really do anything on there. I didn't make any money. I was only on there for like 1 hour, but it's really frustrating because that's something that I've always wanted to like try to get the hang of and try to do, like be successful with. And it's just so frustrating because even for me to just go on there that 1 hour, not making any money, not really doing anything. I really didn't like talk to guys, engage with anybody. Like, I got a private message on there from one person that I didn't even look at or open at all. I just ignored it because I just wasn't in the mood to deal with it. But like even just that 1 hour not doing really anything on that site, it seemed like was enough to just mess up my laptop that much more. It's like every time I do go on there, my laptop's just completely, or my laptop, singular, I only have the one left right now. It's just messed them up so bad, and I can't think of anything else that it would be, you know? So it's like, I've put so much into trying to be successful on that website. Pretty much my entire apartment is constructed. I put so much time, so much money, you know, like into trying to have this setup there to look nice on camera and to just try to be successful on that website. So for it to just mess up my laptop the way that it has, and I used to have other laptops here and there throughout the years. I've been signed up on that site for a long time, and I kind of feel like the reason those other laptops shit the bed, basically, is probably has something to do with that site. I don't know, like I can't really think of what else it would be. I don't really go on a lot of other sites or apps. I don't really do a whole lot else online on my laptops or on my phone for that matter. So it's like, damn, like why does this have to be the case? Like why, you know what I mean? It's like I've tried so hard. I feel like I've put so much into that, trying to have success with that website, and for it to just fuck up my laptops the way that it has, or like seems like it has, it's like, damn, like okay, like you know, it's just so frustrating. Like I've tried so hard with it. And anyway, I wanted to get back to a positive note. It's a beautiful day here today. My shift last night, so with the live video that I did at the club on stage, I've never done anything like that before. I've never done a live video like on stage like that. And it was spur of the moment. I was not like going into that shift, I was not planning on doing that. It was just kind of, because like I was saying earlier, before I started filming that, I had already been on stage for a while dancing around like that, probably like an hour, maybe a couple of hours. I'm not really too sure, but I know it had been a while. So, and I remember at some point, like way before I started filming, I kind of thought to myself, maybe I could try to film this right now, because it's been a while since I've gotten into that mode. I'm not sure what to call it. I guess lately I've been calling it like my Tinka twirl mode. It's just like that zone where that's like pretty much my favorite thing to do. I'm just dancing fast. I'm working all around the stage, not really worrying about going on the pole as much. I do love to go on the pole, obviously. Like I've said that a lot of times on here before. Like I love the pole. Well, it's a love-hate relationship, let's be honest. Because it does kick my ass every time. But it also warms me up, and it is usually pretty cold around here where I am. But what I was doing in my video last night, like that is pretty much my favorite thing to do. And I'll be honest, when I didn't fully get to watch that back yet, but I did glance a little bit at it on my phone later that night after I had filmed it. And I was laughing out loud to myself. I was like, damn, I look even dumber than I thought. I just was like, I couldn't believe how stupid I looked. But like in the back of my mind, I always kind of knew, like, it's just like something about me. Like I'm just like too cute for my own good, I guess. It's not sexy. Like I know that, I get it. Like there's cute and there's sexy. Sometimes they can intertwine. But for me, I just feel like I definitely will lean more towards the kind of cutesy side. I don't know. I try with the red lipstick to like, I just can't be like quiet or serious or like calm. You know what I mean? When I'm around people and when I'm at the club on stage, like when I'm around people, really, I just kind of like to just be outgoing and bubbly and happy and just, you know, I can't really just be calm and like sexy and mysterious like Scorpios are supposed to be. I am technically a Scorpio, but I have Libra rising. So your rising sign is how other people tend to see you and how you tend to come across to the world. So I definitely feel like my Libra rising like overpowers a lot of my Scorpio. Anyways, I'm like very nerdy, like into astrology sometimes with stuff like that. But anyway, so my live video last night, I was laughing when I watched it back. I was like, that's pretty much how I thought I was probably going to look up there. But you know what? Again, that wasn't planned. And I had already been going and going and going before I started filming that. So I was getting tired, you know, I was hot and sweaty, and the music that I was dancing to, you know, it's a playlist. I didn't like select that music or anything. We rarely do here these days. You know, it's pretty much all automated in the DJ booth with like AI or whatever they call it in there. The music, those songs that were playing at the time when I was on the stage for that video, for quite a few of those songs, I probably would have wanted to dance differently. But there's certain types of dancing, certain styles of dancing that I can really only do once I'm warmed up and getting into that kind of mode or zone. Once that's like activated, whatever you want to call it. And I wanted to see what those moves look like on the stage, regardless of the music. So I was kind of trying to just do the dance moves that I wanted to do, whether or not that's what the music seemed to call for, or whether or not I really felt like they went with the music. And for some of it, I felt like it did go with the music, but for a lot of it, I wasn't. It was just very spur of the moment. You know, like I didn't really have time to like think about my camera angle or to make sure that the camera was like getting most of, I would have liked to try to get more of the stage in the shot. But again, this was so spur of the moment. And behind the camera, like behind my phone, from what you guys could see, obviously it was behind my phone and behind the camera, so you guys couldn't see this in the video, but there was all these dancers like just sitting at kind of near the stage, not at the stage, but like very close to it, in very close proximity. There was quite a few of them, you know, and then there was the crowd, you know, of guys not really interested, not really tipping, just kind of sitting on the other side. That I'm pretty sure they were in the video. I think the camera was facing that way, so you can kind of see some of that. But you know, I was just so nervous and tired, and like this was so spur of the moment. And like I said, I haven't really had the time to watch that full video back yet, but I'm really just trying to keep my fingers crossed that nobody was like walking by in the background like topless or like naked or anything like that. I don't think that happened, but obviously I wasn't really able to see like what was happening in the background in the crowd when I was dancing around on stage really fast like that. Back in the day, this club that I'm at right now, this building used to be a different club. It used to be under different ownership, like years and years ago. And back then, it was kind of common for dancers to just walk around topless, like in the middle of the crowd, in the middle of just out in the open, like in the main floor, the main area. Not when they were just on stage or doing a lap dance, but just like they would just walk around the club like topless sometimes. I don't know if it was like to entice guys or just because they just didn't care. But nowadays that it's like a different club, I feel like that's not quite as common. I really can't remember the last time that I saw that. I feel like now if dancers are topless here, it's usually a lap dancer on stage. It's not just like walking around the rest of the club, from what I've noticed lately and for a while now. So I'm just really hoping that nobody walked in the background topless in my video yesterday. Obviously that wouldn't be good, and that's like a big risk that I was taking to try to do a live from the club like that. You know, and then of course there's the copyright for the music. I'm not really too sure how that works, or I know I've gotten like copyrights for music in the background before. I really don't know. I just don't know. But You know, back in the day, that kind of style of dancing that I was doing on stage, trying to utilize most of the stage, a lot of like flailing my arms out, just like, you know, twirling around, stuff like that. There was a certain playlist of music, and there was a certain, yeah, it was just like a playlist, I think on YouTube actually. There was a few of them that I feel like those dance moves really went with. So I feel like it would look a little better for me to be dancing like that to the music that I used to dance like that too. It just went a lot better. You know, it was almost like a routine almost at one point. Maybe like, I think it was mostly last year, the year before that. Back then I was pretty much doing that like all day long for a day shift, like 4 day shifts in a row. And in between that, I was just stretching on stage. So it was like a mix of stretching and then certain playlists where I would do those dance moves, and kind of like in a way that kind of, it would flow because I got familiar to that playlist and familiar to dancing to it a certain way. For the longest time, I have wanted to get that on video, just to remember it. That really only happens when a certain manager is here. They were here last night, you know, and I tried to put in the description like a little shout out to them, like, you know, how much I appreciate them, and being able to do that with the lights and the music on stage to get that to happen, because I can't just do that kind of dancing to any, I can't just do it. The lights on the stage and the music has to be a certain way. And I don't even really know what that way is necessarily, but they seem to know, this manager that I'm referring to, and they just do it like to where it just works like really well for me. And honestly, I don't care how it looks, regardless of how silly, how like stupid or unsexy it might look to other people. That kind of thing I'll usually do when it's not very busy anyways, like a day shift back in the day, or like last night, there were quite a few other dancers, but there really weren't customers there. There was just a few, like, you know, there was like a small group of guys, but they weren't tipping anybody anyways. Like they weren't really, I think they were kind of just there to hang out. So, you know, like that's more for me, that kind of dancing. And regardless of how it looks, it feels so good to do it. Like it's so much fun for me. It warms me up. It's like, it's just so much fun. Like I love doing that, and I can't just do it to, like, again, like to any kind of music, or like I couldn't just go into the club right now and just go do it. I mean, I could try, you know, or I might be able to do it to a point, but when that manager that I'm referring to isn't at the club, most of the rest of the time, the lights on the stage are not not that good. I mean, I feel like they're not enhancing the way that I dance. If anything, they're kind of holding me back, because a lot of times they're just not flattering at all, the lights. They're either like really, really distracting and disorienting, or also at the same time, a lot of times it'll be like very unflattering lighting, almost to where it's like purposely designed to like bring out every single flaw on your body. Cellulite, stretch marks, blemishes, like you will notice things with some of those lights in there that you would have, like, even in plain daylight now, or like dressing room lighting, like at a store, like places that are notorious for having like harsh, not that great kind of lighting, the lights in there sometimes will be way worse to where you will notice things on your body that you would have never seen or noticed otherwise. And, you know, like normally the lights are supposed to be flattering and help to, like, you know, kind of not disguise those things, but kind of like soften them up, you know, like flaws and like unflattering things. But some of those lights and a lot of those lights do the opposite, and they just make everything look that much worse. Or like, again, like you would have never even noticed these things on your body until you see yourself in those lights, some of those lights, and it's like you know. And like this applies to like the most fit every single dancer I've seen, you know, like, because I've seen incredible bodies in there, like really, really fit, you know, slim, whatever, like just really toned, fit dancers I've seen here. And whatever it might be, like a scar, a blemish, anything going on, that's, you know what I mean? Like some of those lights will just make that stuff pop. So a lot of times, not most, but a lot of the shifts that I do here, it'll be that kind of light to where it kind of just it feels like it's holding me back, because again, it's just a lot of those lights are so unflattering and like harsh and just like, oh God, like, you know. And then with the music, usually the music that's playing is like a playlist of like the same songs, which some of the playlists I love, like if it's the playlist of like, if it's my favorite playlists, like my favorite manager usually plays with the kind of music that really seems to like bring out my favorite kind of dancing, then great. But a lot of the playlists are just like quieter, more subdued, kind of like just boring. I'll still like the music, don't get me wrong, like a lot of the songs, because I like variety with music. So, but as far as like getting that Tinka twirl mode activated to where I feel like I'm able to just like dance around really fast and warm up and just feel alive and happy and just like free on stage, it's just not the same to try to do that when it's like slower music, you know, with like way different lighting, like unflattering lighting, and then you have this playlist of just like day shift music, I guess you could call it, just kind of like slower, just, excuse me, like just totally different music and vibes than how I was dancing to last night in my live video last night. So my favorite manager that seems to know how to get the lights and the music on stage to where that like faster style of dancing, the Tinka twirl mode, gets activated, they're going to be leaving next spring, and I'm trying to prepare myself like mentally and emotionally, like how that's going to go for me. I'm like obviously like spring, it's autumn right now, so that's a few months away, thank God. Well, you know, it couldn't be longer away. Like I'm just really trying to like come to terms, like I'm just dreading that, you know, like, but I'm even like now, like even though like I have time, I'm like already now I'm trying to prepare myself, like how am I gonna do this? Like, am I just gonna like gradually stop doing their shifts to like soften the blow, or am I gonna like say goodbye to them, or am I just not gonna say goodbye to them? Like, am I gonna like start crying if I say goodbye? Am I gonna send them a text message like confessing my love for them, or like, I don't know if it's like love, because I don't know what love means, but like appreciation? Am I just gonna like not say or do anything? You know what I mean? Like to not be weird. They have a girlfriend, you know what I mean? So, and they're moving very far away. So I'm just like, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna handle that? You know? Oh my gosh. And you know what? I was so tired coming in today. I have a love choker that I've been wearing. It's like a black choker with rhinestones that says love. And I've been wearing that in my videos lately. I forgot it yesterday and I almost forgot it today. And right before I went out the door, I was really in a rush, but I grabbed it. And I guess I was just so tired or in such a rush that I don't know where it is. I guess I dropped it or lost it somewhere. It was literally in my hand when I was walking out the door. And not only that, but it had one of these flower things. It had one of these like attached to it. So if it was just the necklace by itself, I can see how maybe that would have been easy to drop or lose. But it had my pale pink colored flower like on it. I had clipped it onto it. So I had both of those things in my hand going out the door, and I have no idea what happened to it. I'm assuming I just dropped it, Like, but I'm like really sad about it because that was one of my favorite necklaces and I just don't understand. Like, I know I'm tired. I might not seem that tired right now, but I am. Like, I know I'm tired, but it's like, damn, like, how did I really drop that and not notice at all? You know, like, especially with the flower thing on it. Without the flower, I can see how that might have happened, but I mean, I like was very consciously holding it in my hand, like, yes, I have to remember to put this on, to wear this in my video today, you know, like it was totally gonna match my outfit because I'm wearing like pretty much all black right now, so I was like, it's gonna match and it's gonna just, you know, like, I did that live video last night and I was like, yay, like love. And then I just have no idea. So yeah, I mean, I did work till close last night. The rest of the night after I did that live video was not that good. Very slow. But, you know, like I was just so happy to, regardless of how silly I looked in that video, I was just so happy to at least be able to do it. I had been wanting to do a video of me on stage for so long. You know, but then, yeah, so I was like, you know, after working till close, I was like washing all this stuff in the shower with me. And then originally I got like 2 hours of sleep and I woke back up at like 8 o'clock in the morning and I looked outside, I looked out the window and I was like, oh my gosh, it is such a gorgeous, gorgeous day. I was like, and I made like pancakes and stuff with real maple syrup. And I was like, I could totally go back in to do like a double shift. I could just go in for noon, you know, like it's such a gorgeous day. I could just do the day shift and the night shift. I'll just do a double. But then after I had my pancakes, I was like, and my popcorn, I was like, well, maybe not. Maybe that's not the best idea. So I went back to sleep. And then after I slept more, when I got up the second time, I had just barely, you know, enough time to get ready and come back into the club for now, to sign in for the time that I like to try to sign in by before the price goes up, because we pay to work here, the dancers. So yeah, like my dress isn't even dry. My bra that I'm wearing isn't dry. It's still damp. Luckily my wig is pretty dry though. So, you know, can't win them all, obviously, but oh gosh. But yeah, I'm really sad I lost that necklace. I really hope that I find it. I'm hoping that, you know, I'll be able to remember to look for it outside on the ground by where I park my car, and just like the path leading up to my apartment when I get back later tonight, aka tomorrow morning technically if I stay till close tonight. I'm really hoping that I'll be able to remember to try to look for it, but honestly, like, knowing how I am, there's quite a likely chance that I will forget. Sorry, I'm just plugging my phone in right now because the YouTube drains my battery on my phone. Okay, so yeah, and you know, it was great to be able to finally do a live of me here at the club on stage last night. But what I really want to try to do now is those certain playlists that manager used to play with certain lighting, those moves that I was trying to do in that video yesterday, those moves really go better with, there's just a certain sequence and a certain way that I like to dance to a certain playlist or a certain few specific playlists. But they don't really seem to play them as often now. I think they were more of like day shift playlists. Like they weren't like slow, like boring day shift music playlists, but they were a little bit, I don't know how to explain it, because some of the songs were a little bit like more relaxed and slower, but then other songs on the playlist were like still really fast and upbeat. So just whatever, they're like magic playlists to me. Like they would just like bring out this like style and sequence of dancing for me where I was like, that's what I want to try to get on video. But again, like I just don't know how to try to do that, because That would happen like almost every day shift that I used to do back when this manager was doing day shifts like consistently, but the schedule has since changed around, and it's been changed around for a while now to where they're mostly working day shifts, or I'm sorry, night shifts now. And night shift is just different, you know, like it's rare for me to be able to try to do that kind of thing on stage, or especially to try to film a video. Like I was shocked that I was able to try to film a video last night, because normally for the night shifts that I've been doing now and that they've been doing now for a while, it's like, you know, there's usually a bunch of other dancers. It's just busier, and you can't, it's harder to squeeze that kind of thing in or find a time to where you're able to do that kind of thing. I really wish back in the day when those day shifts were like a thing that we were doing, I really wish that I had tried to do a video of that back then, but that was way before I started my YouTube channel, like way before. So I guess I could have tried to do like a regular kind of video back then, but I never got around to it. And I feel like once I know the camera's on, it's like the pressure's on, and then I just feel like I won't be able to like I just won't be able to do it the same way, because I'm like just like afraid of messing it up, and like just too like kind of rigid from knowing the camera's rolling, you know what I mean? So I just never got around to it back then, to trying to do that kind of thing. But you know, I really hope that before this manager leaves next spring, I hope that I'm able to try to like film a video that's like more of like those other playlists that I'm thinking of. They still do Friday day shift, but even Friday day shifts now, it's like there tends to be a lot of other dancers even for the day shift. It sucks because up until very recently they were doing Saturday day shifts. And Saturday day shifts, there's hardly ever any dancers. Maybe sometimes, but that's pretty much one of the day shifts, believe it or not. I think because it's right after Friday night, you know. So Saturday day shift would tend to be, I used to do them pretty frequently when they were doing them. And that was exactly the kind of shift where it was like hardly any other dancers, hardly any customers at all, just very slow, very just like kind of quiet. That would have been the perfect time to try to do that kind of thing. And I still haven't even like verbalized or vocalized to this manager like that I want to try to do this kind of thing, you know, because I'm really shy, and like I don't want to like put them on the spot to like have to like, you know, try to get a certain playlist, and like they're always doing something, like they're always doing something in the club. They're just like always busy pretty much. Like they're one of those kinds of people where it's like they're just always like doing something. So I don't want to like bother, you know what I mean? Like I'm just really shy and like kind of embarrassed. I don't know. I have a hard time like talking to people and like asking people for things. And he's like the only manager that I have actually asked to like do things sometimes. I really hate to ask for things, but he's just so nice, and like, you know, he's the only manager that I would really feel comfortable like asking like anything. So to additionally ask him to like try to do these certain playlists at a certain time, I don't know, like we'll see. I mean, if I'm able to have it happen sometime, that would be great. You know, there's at least from now till spring, there's still some time to like hopefully try to get that to happen at some point between now and then, I'm hoping. But anyways, and it's kind of funny because the way that I was dancing last night in that live video that I did, I kind of felt like a bunny, like prancing around. I was just watching my ass wiggle back and forth, and it kind of reminded me of like a rabbit when they have the tail in the back of their bum and their tail is just kind of like bouncing around. Like the way that my booty was just like that's kind of what it reminded me of. And then when I mentioned in one of my videos recently that I stretch a lot on stage, and my hamstrings are always just like pretty much the tightest group of muscles for me. Like my hamstrings are just like hell. So I'm always trying to especially stretch those, like probably the most, I would say. So, and my IT bands too, but that's pretty much like connected to, and my hips, just like, yeah, but anyway. So, but my hamstrings. So you know, like I'll just do the classic. There's lots of different stretches that I like to try to do for those, but I'll also try to do the classic where I just like bend over at the waist and like try to touch my toes and that kind of thing. I like to do that with the pole behind me so I can hold on to the pole to like kind of steady myself and stuff, and like pull into the pole to get more of like a stretch that way. But when I'm doing that and my vision, when my head is upside down or my vision's upside down, it's kind of like I'm watching people walk around the club like they're walking on the ceiling, kind of is what it looks like. And I was mentioning how even guys, like anybody that I see walking around upside down like that, like the way that they're walking just looks so different that way. And not just different in like the obvious way, but like they just look like they have a little hop to their step, and it just looks so cute. Like even the guys, like they look really cute walking that way. And that's kind of what it reminded me in my video yesterday when I was doing the live on stage, like almost like just like a prance, like a prancing kind of style, or like a little bit of a hop to it, like a, I don't know, it's just, to me it looks cute more than anything. Like I'm sure you guys seeing that could be like, okay, so that's why nobody ever tips her, because she looks like a freaking dumbass. And yeah, like I know it's not sexy, like I know it looks really stupid, but I swear to God, like it just, to dance that way for me, again, like it's not really about how it looks, it's just like it's so much fun to do and it feels so good to my body. Back in the day, for the day shifts when I used to dance for that kind of, in that kind of way, for like a lot of day shifts, I was stretching so much more, and I was doing that kind of style of dancing with the quick steps and the twirling around a lot. I was doing that in 8-inch heels most of the time back then, whereas in my video last night I was wearing 7-inch heels. So, and you know, like I'm fluffing up for the winter right now, as I always do every year, but you know, like other times of year I'll have my body be like in a better state, like more fit, less sore, you know. Like I've reintroduced gluten back in my diet recently, which as far as like my stomach and like my digestion, that all seems to be fine. Like I really don't notice any difference there, but I'm not too sure. Like I'm definitely more sore lately, just like my muscles and like my pretty much head to toe. So I'm not really too sure how much of that is because I'm just not able to stretch as much as I used to for when I was doing a lot more day shifts not that long ago. You know, like I went from doing those day shifts and stretching for most of those day shifts. I went from that to doing like 10-hour night shifts back to back. So obviously that's quite a big difference. So I'm not too sure if the reason I'm so sore lately and for a while now is mostly just because of that, or if the gluten might play a part in that at all. Because I've read, you know, different places that gluten can like trigger inflammation in some people that are sensitive to it. So, but again, like with my digestion, it seems fine. Like I really don't notice a difference with my digestion with that. So I really am not too sure. A lot of my favorite foods have gluten in them, you know, like pancakes and pasta and like, you know, like carby things like that. So I like cereals, I like, you know, like bran cereal and stuff. So like there's just a lot of foods that have gluten that I really like, and if I'm not allergic to it, or if I'm not sensitive to it, I don't want to have to like cut that back out of my diet. I kind of, before I used to do that just because like in the media, like it was such a thing that I kind of just bought into that. Like, oh, okay, if people say gluten's bad, then maybe it really is. But they also will say that about sugar a lot, and most of my diet is sugar, honestly. So I'll never give up sugar. Not if I can help it anyways. But I don't know. I'm sure the combination of like sugar, like lots of sugar, and then now having gluten, I don't know if that's like triggering like inflammation or something, or those are just like all my favorite foods basically besides the popcorn. So I don't know, I hope I'm not allergic to gluten, but I do wonder. But then I figure, well, gosh, yeah, like doing these 10-hour night shifts back to back compared to what I used to do back in the day with just day shifts and stretching mostly, it's like, come on, like that's such a difference. So I'm sure that plays a big part in why I'm so sore, so much more sore these days. You know. And also, I am PMSing right now. My period is on its way again, yet again. So me doing that video last night, like that was definitely not me at the top of my game. I probably won't ever be back at the top of my game ever again. And then once this manager does leave next spring, like that's just gonna be a whole other ball game for me, to where it's gonna be like, okay, what in the F do I do now? You know what I mean? I really have no idea. Like, it's gonna take me from now until then to try to figure out what to do with that, you know, like if I just, again, if I say goodbye, if I don't say goodbye, if I send them a text to thank them or not, if I just ignore it and just don't do anything, if I stop doing their shifts shortly before that happens. Like, I just have no idea. But I have time to figure it out. I really hope that I'm able to, or like come up with some kind of game plan for that, because I really just have no idea. Like, I'm just dreading that so much. You know. Okay. I have a little list here of other things. Oh yeah, so at the start of that shift yesterday, before I did my video, it was a different manager on shift, and so the stage just looked totally different. There was this strobe light on that they like to have on, the other manager. A lot of the other managers like to put the strobe light on. There's different strobe lights, but there's this one specific one that like has this pattern that it's the direction that I'm usually facing, so it's usually right in my eyes, and it just like doesn't quit, it doesn't stop, and it like really it looks good, you know, like it looks nice, but it hurts my eyes and it just hurts my head. And so my favorite manager also, they showed me there's one button, like out of all, you guys should see the stuff in the DJ booth. Like, it's so not user friendly, and there's a million buttons, there's a million settings. Like, you press a button that looks like it's supposed to do something and it will do something else like entirely. They're not really labeled, the buttons aren't really labeled very well, if at all. Like, you just can't, for me, and like I feel like anyone that's trying to learn it or like new to that system that's set up in there in the DJ booth, it's so confusing, and it's just like, what is this stuff? I mean, there's probably over 100 buttons, if not like a couple hundred. I mean, there's just so many buttons and so many things in there. There's like 3-4 different computer screens, and it's just like, I have no idea. But there's one button to stop that strobe light. Out of all those buttons, all those settings, all that stuff going on in there, it's one button. All it takes is one button to stop that strobe light. And my favorite manager showed me what that one button was pretty recently. Like, I think it was last week, you know, it was very recently. So when I first got into my shift here at the club yesterday, that strobe light was going, and so the manager that was on hand beforehand for the day shift, when I first got in, at one point they went into the office to like, I don't know, do whatever they were doing. So like before that, they were out in the club, like, you know, like walking around and like seeing what was going on. And then as soon as they went into the office, I was on stage when they went in the office. As soon as they went in the office, I hopped right off stage, left my backpack on the stage, ran into the DJ booth. I pressed that one button and the strobe light stopped. I was like, yes. Then I went back on stage. I put my backpack on my back with a liter of water in it. So like good 15 pounds, or a bad 15 pounds really. And I climbed the pole with my 15-pound backpack, which I hadn't really done super recently. It hasn't been that long since I've done that, but it had been long enough, you know what I mean? Like, it had been at least quite a few shifts where I hadn't done that. At one point I was trying to do it every single shift. Like at the start of my shift to like warm up. but it's a bitch. And that pole is just so slippery, you know. Excuses. But so it had been quite a few shifts since I had done that, and then right after I got that, pressed that one button to get that strobe light off, I hopped right back on stage, threw my backpack on my back, and did it. So I was very happy with that. And then shortly after that is when my favorite manager came in and like fixed all the lights and the music, and then that's when that Tinka twirl mode was activated, and that wasn't planned. I never really know when that's going to happen, but it just happens like less and less these days. And it's been a really long time since that twirl mode was activated, where I feel like I'm able to dance around the stage really fast like that, you know, just like dancing how I love to dance. That's like pretty much my favorite way to dance, just about my favorite thing to do ever, really, like in the whole world. So, but again, like, it's really just my favorite manager that's able to like do the lights and the music to get that to happen, at least to that extent where it's like fully activated when I'm really in that zone. Luckily I have been able to kind of get there other times, other shifts with other managers, and when they're not there, that one manager, thank gosh, I have been able to do it other times, and I've made sure to like make sure that happens. But with that being said, it's a lot harder and it's a lot less likely to happen. I'm a lot less likely to be able to do that. It takes a lot more. I kind of have to force it, if that makes sense, or like really, not always. There have been other times, other managers where it's just kind of happened, and I will just get so happy and just like, yay, when that does happen. But it's a lot less predictable with the other managers, or it's a lot less reliable. Like it just doesn't happen as often, if ever, really, these days. Like it's just, whereas with that one manager, like it'll happen as long as they're like able to get in that DJ booth at the right time, and if I'm able to be on stage when they're doing it at the right time, you know, if it's all able to click into place like that. When they were doing the day shifts and I was doing those day shifts, it was just like such a consistent thing. And I was in my 8-inch heels, and I was, you know, able to get a lot of stretching in between all that. So that was just like prime for me. That was like, you know, I feel like I'll probably never be able to get back to that, unfortunately. But you never know. You know, I'm always going to try to have hope, you know, for things in life and stuff. But it's just so rare these days that I'll be able to dance like that on stage, like fast and twirling around, and just how I love to dance the most. But so when that happened yesterday, kind of spur of the moment, unplanned like that, I was just like, yay, you know, like that's an early birthday present for me. Oh yeah, my birthday's at the end of this month, and that'll be 6 months not smoking weed for me. And I'm going to break at that point. Not break, it's like a planned, like, I'm gonna smoke a little bit of weed at that point for my birthday. I've kind of been planning that for a while. So, but yeah. When that mode, anyways, that's just like a side note, but, I'm really looking forward to that more and more every day, for the weed, you know, but, when that mode of dancing for me is able to be activated, like, again, it's such a rare thing these days, but I always crave it. Like, that is just like my favorite thing in life, pretty much. So I'm just always hoping to get back into that mode, into that zone, and I just can't always do it on my own. I usually can't do it on my own. Like, it's a combination of factors, you know, like, it has to not be too busy in the club. It has to be certain music, certain lighting. And usually it is that one manager that's able to like do that kind of thing on his shifts. So, but it just hasn't, like, they've been doing more night shifts lately. So it just hasn't worked out for a while to where that tends to happen often like it used to for the day shifts. So last night was just like such a wonderful thing for me. And again, I don't care how silly I looked up there. Like, that's just it. Regardless, it's not about how it looks. It's so much fun to do that. You know what I mean? Like, and then in the winter, like when it really is cold out, like I remember last winter, I used to just dance like that as much as I could on stage. It was for the day shifts, and I would go ham like that for hours before I came back outside. And then at that point, after doing all that on stage, I was coming back outside to cool off. You know what I mean? In the middle of winter with no jacket. So yeah, like I would be doing that for a while, and then rather than coming outside and freezing to death, I would come outside with no jacket to cool off. So that was how I, did that last winter. But okay. Oh, okay. There's a couple other things. I haven't posted this yet, but I do want to try to post a picture of this. The shoes that I was wearing last night for that video, I want to post a picture of those shoes, particularly the right side shoe, because like, again, I have like all these reasons as to why I look so stupid up there doing that. You guys should see the shoes. Like, I have to post a picture of how bad those shoes are. Especially my right foot. The sole of the shoe, the fabric that covers the top part that your foot sits on or stands on, is so bad. I could go in my trunk and get them right now. Should I? Yes. Whatever. Let's just do it. Okay. I was gonna have to get these anyways before I went. Actually, no, I shouldn't wear these tonight. I have to get a pair of shoes out of my trunk. I have I have so many pairs of like terrible shoes in my trunk, and underneath them is my shovel for the snow for the winter. So it's just a whole sad mess back there. But okay, you guys ready? This is what I was dancing on in that video last night, you guys. How bad is that? The pair of shoes, after I did that video, I switched my shoes because my feet were screaming at me. And the pair of shoes that I wore after that, let me get those. Those I had to tape together, like so many of my other shoes. Yeah, I feel like most of my shoes are like pretty much just taped together at this point. So, and you know what? This one's also the right side shoe. So I know that when I climb the pole, I always have to have the double strap shoes with the two plastic pieces. I'm usually gripping the pole with my right foot the most. Like pretty much my entire body and like every muscle in my body from head to toe, I'm using to grip the pole, or try to. But as far as my feet, between my left foot and my right foot, I'm gripping the pole with my right foot a lot more than my left. It's mostly my right foot. So I guess that would make sense why it's the right side shoe that usually gets beat up the most. Also, when I'm dancing around the floor of the stage, I do like to spin around and twirl around a lot. And there's a move that I like to do. It's one of my favorites, actually. I'm not sure if I actually got to do that in the video last night, but it's where I'm kind of down in a squatting position and I'm like bouncing my ass, and then I'll stand up really quickly after that and spin around on my right foot. So I'm pretty sure I spin counterclockwise to my left, but I'm spinning, all of the weight is on my right foot. I'm spinning from my right foot and my right leg. So I am right-handed. Oh, but that was another thing. Like, I'm not ambidextrous with my hands. This is so bad. but I'm pretty sure I have scoliosis. So my entire body is like skewed, like off. It's just completely messed up. Basically, it's just all like uneven. And my left hip is higher than my right hip, I'm pretty sure. So even though I'm right-handed and I use my right foot and I guess my right leg a lot for certain things, when I go upside down on the pole usually is on my left side, and I'm usually gripping the pole with my left leg. I do like to switch my legs with some moves to where I'm going for my left leg and then my right leg. I think it's called Scorpio to Gemini switches is the pole move that's called. But regardless, like the pole is pretty much always on my left side. Not always, but especially when I'm like dangling from one of my legs, it's usually my left leg, and that's just so. And there's certain moves, I think because my left hip is higher, there's certain moves that I can only do on one side or only with the pole on one side. Like I definitely feel how it affects my ability to do things on stage and on the pole. And with that being said, so another thing that I was so excited about from last night, there is this thing that I like to do. One of my favorite moves is to go down into a pistol squat, which is where, for anyone that doesn't already know what that is, I'm sure most people probably do, but regardless, for anybody that might not know, a pistol squat is where you have one leg extended out, like off the floor, lifted up off the floor, and you squat down with just one leg, just using like one of your legs and one side of your body mostly. So just one set of leg muscles. Your other leg is like lifted up off the floor. So so how can I do this? This is the leg that's lifted. This is the one you're standing on. You're standing with your leg lifted up, and then you go down into a squat like that. I don't know how. Most people probably know what this is. If you don't, Google it. But okay, so I used to be able, I'm pretty sure, to do a pistol squat on both sides with both of my legs in 8-inch heels. And I don't know if it's the gluten or just me getting older or less stretching, but now I can hardly ever do a pistol squat at all. But a few weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago, I was able to do it with my left leg up in the air and just standing on my right leg. And I'm pretty sure, but I wasn't able to do it vice versa with my right leg in the air. Standing on my left leg, I was only able to do it the first way that I just said. Sorry, I know I repeat myself a lot, but whatever. I am very tired. I'm pretty sure the reason, and now I'm doing it in my 7-inch heels. So I was able to do that last night. I did it twice last night. I did it, I think the first time was after my live, and the second time was right at the end of the night. And at the end of the night especially, I didn't think I was going to be able to do it because that was after 10 hours of dancing and a 10-hour shift. So, very tired, very sore, but I was like, I just want to see if I can do this once more. And I did. And I was so happy about that. Because again, like me doing the pistol squats, I'm not really able to do them very often lately. Up until last night, it had probably been about a month or so, I'm guessing, maybe longer. It probably could have been a bit longer than that since I had last done them. And then the last time I was doing them, yeah, I am pretty sure the last time I was doing them, however long ago, it was still just the left leg up in the air that I was able to do it, just that one side. And I think it was still the 7-inch heels. I don't think I was able to do it in the 8-inch heels then. Maybe, I'm not too sure. That's another thing I'd really love to be able to get back to, is to do those on both sides with the 8-inch heels. Like that's a goal for me to have, you know. But for me to be able to do it at all again, even just on that one left side last night, was definitely like a big thing for me, because that's a tough move to do, you know, especially in heels. I've actually never done a pistol squat without heels, just flat-footed. I've never even tried it, to be honest. I don't know why I've never even really thought to try it. I really don't do that much, like physically, like I'm really not that active outside of the club and when I'm not on stage. Other than like the treadmill at the gym, which even with that lately, with me doing more night shifts like I've been, like back to back, like I have been for a while, the gym has definitely taken a back seat now with that, unfortunately. It just, you know, it's just something that's happened with that. Over the summer, I was really hitting the treadmill pretty often, and I think I'm at 12 half marathons for the year, on the treadmill, and a lot of that was walking too. So it's not like actual real half marathons, like, you know, again, a lot of it was walking and like split up. But, you know, I was trying to get around that for a while this past summer, whereas now I'm just kind of like, fuck it, like I really just don't even go to the gym. I mean, I want to in my head, like I tell myself. Also though, I think not smoking weed has affected that. Over the summer I was sober, like it's been 6 months pretty much since I've smoked weed, so for the summer I was sober doing it then. I wasn't smoking weed for that, but for some reason lately it's just so much harder for me to like find the energy and the motivation to go to the gym. I feel like if I did smoke weed right now, I could do it, and I'd be so much more inclined to go do that, because I could just like get in the zone and just, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, especially like just being sober without the weed right now, and without the weed for all this time, and with all the night shifts that I've been doing, like 10 hours back to back for a while now, it's like the past couple of months or so, the gym for me lately has kind of just been like a whatever kind of thing. I'll get back to it, don't get me wrong. Like I do love to jog on the treadmill. I do love to do that when I feel up to it, I guess, when I'm in that mood, or, you know. But I'm just taking a little break from that, I guess, for now. I don't know. I don't want to, but my body kind of just has been demanding that. I'm just so tired, you know, so tired and so sore, and just I'm really just trying to work at the club as much as I can right now before it really gets cold, and before the snow really, like before the snow starts and stuff, before winter really starts. But yeah, oh gosh, I dread that so much every year. Oh, it's so nice out today. I couldn't believe that I was able to come out just in this little dress, this damp dress, mind you. Because lately it's been really cold. Like the past week or two, I was barely able to like get out of bed, for like out from under the covers, like to come outside, you know. It was just so cold. And then today is like, oh my gosh, like where did this miracle day come from? And like after last night, because last night was just like so great too, you know. So that's nice. But yeah, so the pistol squats last night, that was also like really, I was so happy about that. Those are tough. Yeah, I've never tried to do those flat-footed though. I guess I'll have to try doing flat-footed at some point, just out of curiosity. But for some reason, I feel like that would be more difficult for me. I don't know why. It seems like it would be easier to do a pistol squat wearing heels versus not wearing heels. I don't know. I'll have to try to remember to try that without the heels though sometime, just flat-footed, just to see how that goes. I'm pretty sure the reason that I feel more able to do it with my left leg in the air is because my left hip is higher. It's tilted, like this is my left side right now. The live flips it, but this is my left, this is my right. So my left hip is definitely slanted like that, and I can kind of just see how that would make sense, because it's already, for me to have, because that hip's already lifted, for me to keep that leg lifted, that just makes sense to me. why that would be. But you know what? Now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure, definitely not last night. Last night I was only able to do it with just the left leg lifted, standing on my right. But I'm pretty sure maybe the last time I was doing the pistol squat a month or so ago, maybe a couple months ago, I think maybe at that time I was actually able to do it on both sides. I'm not too sure. I really can't remember exactly if I was able to do it with both legs that time, or if I was maybe wearing the 8-inch heels that time. I want to think that's a possibility for those things, but I'm pretty sure it was probably still the 7-inch heels and probably still just the left leg back then. But I'm going to also try to keep in mind, like, again, that's like a goal for me to have, to try to get back to doing it definitely on both sides with both legs lifted, or, you know, standing on each leg. And wow, to do that with both legs in 8-inch heels again, because I know that at some point, I'm sure that was very, very long ago, but I'm pretty sure at some point I was doing that, so, or able to do that, you know. So that's another little goal for me to try to get back to. Oh, and another thing I wanted to mention, so I showed you guys how bad my shoes are. Also, the floor of the stage is pretty bad in a lot of spots. There's like divots and almost like potholes, I guess you could say, on the stage floor here at the club. I did take a picture last night. I took a few pictures of, because a lot of those potholes they tried to fill in with like different kinds of glue, and the glue will tend to dry kind of bumpy and uneven, to where when you step on those spots it's just uneven and it can throw you off. Like for me, like in the live video of me dancing on stage last night, I'm sure you guys can see I was dancing very fast and doing a lot of footwork and spinning around, and you know, just like moves where I'm dancing pretty quickly. So, and yeah, a lot of that spinning kind of stuff is towards the pole, and a lot of it is when I'm holding on to the pole, so I'm just all around that area. There's like that one square of the stage floor by that's surrounding the pole. So I'm around that pole a lot for a lot of that dancing, and that area, especially right by the pole, is where most of those potholes with the glue are, the bumpy areas. So yeah, it's interesting because I pretty much have to try my best to step over those, and to not step directly on them, you know, to dance around them, so to speak. Because yeah, if you try to step on them, or if you do step on them, I don't see why you would try to step on them. If anything, you're trying not to step on them. But if you do end up stepping on them, it's just so uneven, and it's like, it's no good. That's yeah. So I gotta try to remember to post a picture of that, one of those pictures of what I'm talking about with the stage floor like that. Just lots of potholes, just like the roads around here, you know, lots and lots of potholes. But yeah, so I already showed the shoes in this video. I guess I'll probably still try to post the picture of that too though, because I mean, especially the blue shoes that I was wearing in that video last night on stage, like those shoes are really bad. Like my right foot was just like screaming at me that entire time. Oh, and I also had to pee so bad for that video, because I had already been on stage for so long at that point before I hit the film button, the you know, to start that live. I was already up there for like hours pretty much, so having to pee most of that time, and I just didn't want to, you know, like take a break to get off the stage and go, you know, pee first before doing that, because I wasn't sure if I'd be able to get back on stage in time, or if somebody else would have ended up going up there, or you know what I mean. It was like, oh, I gotta do this now or never. Like it was a now or never kind of thing. So, but I was so happy I was able to do that last night, you know. That was like, so yeah, lots more goals for me for the rest of this year and next year. Getting back into those pistol squats both sides, and I would love to try to film another live from here at the club on stage. You know, like, it's very difficult to try to find the right, you know, the time to try to do that, you know, because it's a strip club and you never know who's gonna walk by in the background, you know, like if they're gonna be half naked or not. Just so many things with that. During the video yesterday of me on stage, at one point I was gonna try to climb the pole and do some pole tricks, but I was so sweaty and my hands were so sweaty. The pole was just so slick and slippery, you know, because that video was mostly just supposed to be for me dancing around the stage and to try to, like, for me to try to be able to see what, like, that on video for the first time ever. I've never seen, all the years that I've been doing that, I've never seen a video of that. I've never seen what I look like doing that. And now that I do, I'm kind of like, oh damn, like, I knew it was as bad as I thought, but whatever. It's so much fun though. But yeah, so the pole was just, I felt like it was too slippery last night and my hands were too sweaty, and just, you know, doing a lot, my first live on stage like that, I didn't want to take that much of a risk to additionally go on the pole and try to do a pole trick. It was just, my hands were too slick and it just didn't feel like the right time to try to do that. I mean, I do have videos on my phone from like pretty much years ago of me on the pole though. My phone's so messed up with the storage, and most of my stuff that's not very recent, I mean, I have tons of photos and videos from throughout the years, but most of them don't seem to want to load on my phone. And only the very recent stuff is the stuff that I can, like, click on and it will still be postable, or still, the rest of it is just like it won't download or whatever it is. I don't understand most of my phone. So yeah, another thing that I would like to try to do sometime is maybe try to do a live of me doing some pole work, some of my pole tricks here at the club on stage. I don't know, we'll see. It's so scary doing it live though, like this on YouTube, you know, like from a strip club. You just don't know what's gonna happen, but you know, it's something to maybe try. I really would love to get a video of me on the pole on here at some point. And yeah, also the videos that I did have from years ago, pretty much all of them have the club logo in the background, which I don't know how to edit out or blur out. I've been able to kind of crop it out for pictures, but I don't know how to do that for videos yet, you know, so I'm very bad with stuff like that. I just don't know how to do stuff like that. I'd like to learn how to do it, but I just, you know, we'll see, maybe someday, but as of right now, I have no idea how to do that kind of thing. So, but you know what? It would be great to maybe try to take new videos of me on the pole here. And to do that live would be like, wow, like if I could do that, I'd be so proud of myself. Like, that's just, whew. So I think that's everything on my list here. This list what I wrote it on today is a transaction record from one of the ATMs here at the club. I don't know whose it is. Some random mystery customer. They withdrew $100 and it looks like their available balance was $712.76. I'm just always curious, like, what does the average person, or like, what does this person or that person have in their bank account? I don't even know who this belonged to. I don't even know who this was. I wasn't paying attention to like whose it was, but you know, like some people will use the ATM and then they just walk away and they just leave the receipt in the slot thing. So sometimes when people do that, after they walk off, if the receipt's still there, I'll just kind of like grab it just out of curiosity and just be like, oh, what does this, you know, like, what does this person have to play with tonight? But again, I wasn't even really paying attention to who it actually belonged to, who this actually was. Like, I was so focused on other things last night, as I usually am, you know, like, oh, money is usually just like an unnecessary, kind of stressful, a necessary evil. I don't know if evil is the word, but just a necessary hassle, a necessary thing you just gotta deal with, I guess, you know. Can't really get around it usually, but I try not to think about it day and night, you know what I mean? I try to think about other things. I try to have other thoughts in my head too, besides just worrying about money constantly. Like, whew, that just seems to get more and more difficult these days though, doesn't it? But, you know, I love dancing. I'm so thankful for last night and for that manager that's, you know, just so nice and able to do the music and the lights like that for me on stage. And I really hope I'm able to figure out what to do when they leave next year. With that kind of thing, it's usually like, you know, people move on, they leave, and then you just never see them again. You never see them again, you never hear from them again. Like, we're not friends on Facebook. You know, like, I would be too shy and embarrassed to send him a friend request. And, like, again, he has a girlfriend, so it's like, I'm not gonna, you know, I don't mess around with stuff like that. So, but, you know, like, I am pretty much in love with them, I think. So. Or I don't know, like, I don't trust myself. Like, I don't trust my own mind or my own emotions. And I don't know how to separate, like work from, like, I don't know, like, how to interpret my own feelings, if that makes sense. Like, somebody's nice to me like that, and if somebody's able to, like, you know, work is usually hell, life is usually hell for me anyways. Like, working in a strip club is usually hell for me in a lot of ways, unless I'm able to get into that happy zone on stage. You know what I mean? Unless I'm able to get into that zone of me dancing, just like doing my thing and just free and happy on stage. You know, so it's like, if somebody's able to help make that happen and help me to get into that zone and help do that, you know, with me, and it's like, obviously I'm gonna have feelings for that person. I just don't know what that, if that's just appreciation or if that's just a natural response to somebody that's able to do that and to somebody that's nice to you, like to me, or I don't think it's just that though, you know what I mean? Like, but I don't know, because again, I don't trust my own mind or my own emotions. I don't trust myself. I don't really think I've ever known or understood relationships or love or like, or anything really. I just don't understand like anything in life really. Like, I don't think there's a single thing about, like, in existence that I actually understand. Maybe suffering. But no, even that, I don't really understand that either, because I get, yeah, it's like a natural part of life, but why do so many other people, so many people usually seem to want to make that worse or like enhance that aspect of existing versus trying to make things a little better if they can. You know what I mean? Like, I understand why suffering has to be a thing, or why it is a thing just naturally in life. Like, it's just part of existing, and like as a natural, like, it's just nature, it's just part of, but can't have the sweet without the sours kind of thing, so to speak. But there's still a lot of other things about it that I don't understand. I just really don't understand stuff, you know what I mean? Like, including myself, you know, just anything really. Like, I'm trying to think of something I actually feel like I understand, and nothing comes to mind. Nothing. I can't think of a single thing. I'll think of something eventually. I mean, obviously I want to wrap this video up. I'm at 85 minutes right now. almost an hour and a half. Holy crap. So I'm not just gonna sit here and try to think of something that I understand. Like, I'm sure there's gotta be something. Sure, like, I'll think of something eventually when I'm able to actually stop and think about it, maybe. But now is probably not the time to try to do that. It is getting dark out. It's just such a gorgeous day today. I do wish that I had been able to be out, like up and awake and out and about for more of it. But, you know, realistically, after working till close last night, slash earlier this morning of this day, you know, it's probably for the best that I tried to get some sleep after that. It is a weird lifestyle though, it really is. You know, it's like, I do really like doing the night shifts, but yeah, I certainly, especially days like this, I really don't want to sleep the day away after that, you know? It's really frustrating to try to do both, you know what I mean? To try to do work all night for a really late night shift into the early morning hours, and then to also try to push yourself to be up for the next day and not just sleep in too late, you know? Because you obviously got to sleep, especially doing this kind of work, going on the pole for 10 hours straight, pretty much, you know? It's like, it is strange to try to balance it, you know, like, and I've always done shifts back to back though. I've never, you know, like we make our own schedule here as dancers, we make our own hours, but I've never been good about doing a shift and then taking the next day off. What I usually, and this has been for years, like regardless of who's working, regardless of like who I have a crush on here at the time, which, you know, all throughout the years that I've been here, for whatever reason, I'll usually do just shifts back to back. It's usually 4 shifts in a row. It's been like that for years. Like, it's weird, but, and then when I take a day off, it usually turns into like 2 or 3 days off in a row. Not that I want it to, but it'll, you know what I mean? And then, yeah, once I come in for a shift, it's like, okay, then I'm in that kind of like I got the ball rolling in that direction. Like I'm in that kind of pattern for that time. So it's like, okay, back to back, 3-4 shifts in a row, sometimes 5. I've definitely done weeks at a time before. My record, 2022, I think it was. 2022 fall, probably September, October of 2022, I did 34 shifts in a row was my record, because I was turning 34 that year. And I am so weird, especially when it comes to numbers like that. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna be 34, so I'm gonna try to do 34 shifts in a row. It didn't start like that from the very start of it. I think it was like I got 2 weeks in, I did 2 weeks in a row, and then I was like, okay, I've got 2 weeks now with no break. Let's see how long I can go. And then that ended up turning into 34 shifts in a row right before my 34th birthday. And that is a record that I will never try to break ever. I'm never gonna even attempt that. That'll be my record forever. I'm never gonna try to break that one. Like, gosh. And you know what though? When I stopped at 34, I'm pretty sure it wasn't even like, I guess it turned into being like, oh, okay, I'm gonna be 34, so 34 shifts. But it turned into that. But I actually stopped at 34 originally because I got sick. I'm pretty sure I got like a cold or something. It was like, I'm pretty sure like my next period had rolled around, so I was like, and then a lot of times with my period I'll also get sick sometimes, like get a cold or something. So I'm pretty sure that's what happened, and that was originally why I stopped at the 34 shifts. And then once I realized, I was like, oh no, it's fine, 34 shifts, 34 years old soon, the numbers match up, great. I can take a break now. But yeah, if I hadn't gotten that cold and stuff at that point, I think I would have probably tried to keep going for like even longer than 34 shifts in a row. But it's probably for the better that I didn't, and that I just stopped there, you know. My body pretty much forced me to stop at that point. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm so weird, you guys. It's just ridiculous, you know. But I really hope I find my love necklace. Oh my gosh, you know, like I really wanted to be wearing that for this video today. How I literally had it in my hand as I was walking out the door with the flower on it. I had a flower. I had one of these flowers. It was a light pink, the light pink one that I was wearing just the past few days. It was with the necklace, and where the frick did it go? Do you know how nice it would be if when I get back later, I just see it right there on the ground, just waiting for me? Like somehow it's still magically there. I would be amazed, but I'd also be very happy about that. I really hope I find it. Oh my gosh, you guys. I could have just left it. I was like already out the door, and then I went back in to get it because it was like right there next to the door. You know what I mean? This is what I get for that. I really hope I freaking find that thing. Oh, match my outfit so well. Maybe I should draw whiskers. People here at the club the other day, I think it was Sunday. Yeah, Sunday, this past Sunday. They were wearing, a lot of people came in, they had whiskers on their face. So I kind of want to draw, so I should. Oh my gosh, a little nose. Well, I have a big nose, but like a little tip with the whiskers. Okay. Anyways, okay, so it's getting dark out, and this is an hour and a half long, so I'm gonna wrap this up for now. I was so happy about last night, and I always will be. I really hope I get to do more videos here live from the stage and the club and stuff like that. That was just so cool to do. But yeah. Tomorrow, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be rainy again. Yesterday was so rainy, like pouring rain. So to have this beautiful day here, like sunny, nice, warm, gorgeous, lovely, beautiful day today was amazing. But I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be back to rainy again tomorrow. And my favorite manager, I don't think is working tomorrow. I don't think he usually does Wednesdays. So I probably won't be working tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. But even if I don't come into the club, I would like to at least try to get out to do something. Maybe go to the internet place to try to talk about my bill with them. I wasn't able to get to the grocery store before work today, so I'd like to try to, that's my main thing really, is just to go do more grocery shopping. But there's that, and it would be nice to try to get to the gym. I'm just not sure with the rain. It depends on how heavy the rain is gonna be. I'm not really too sure. If it's just drizzling, then hopefully I'll be able to try to get myself out. If it's like downpouring again like it was yesterday, then, you know, fuck that, obviously. But and then I usually take Thursdays off, but I'm definitely gonna try to keep doing Friday day shifts as much as I can, you know, these upcoming weeks and stuff, because I really want to try to be able to take more videos here live from the club on stage and stuff. And I feel like the most likely time for me to be able to do that would probably be for a day shift. Like, I was really amazed that I was able to do it last night, because that was probably around 6 or 7 p.m. It was definitely going into night shift for that yesterday, whereas normally I don't think I would be able to do a live video here on stage during a night shift. It's that kind of thing where I'd usually be lucky to even be able to do it, to squeeze it in for a day shift. So yeah. If I'm not able to come back on tomorrow, I'd like to try to come on tomorrow, but if I'm not able to, I'm hoping for Thursday or Friday, Saturday. Hopefully I'll be able to, at least if I can try to do it again this week, that would be great, you know. But I hope you guys are well. I'm going to wrap this up for now, and hopefully I'll be able to come back on soon. Peace out for now, though. Till next time.